come to play. How you get it, whatever you tryna get, it's one way to live it, do it right, nigga. And we on the mission to get whatever we vision, and we finna be alright. So put your hands up and never let them down. Everybody stand up, listen to the man now. Made a different plan up, and we ain't playing around. We ain't playing around, nigga.
Yo.
What's up, man? How you doing? You all right?
Yes, sir. I'm all right, man. I'm alive, man. I can't complain. You know me.
Working all day on the grind.
What you been up to?
Dude, hey, I just actually finished meeting with like 5 or 6 people, putting them in with ForEx, teaching them how to, set up their accounts, on how to trade, how to enter a trade and take profit, different things like that. Just trying to show people a different way to make income.
That's understandable. I appreciate that. You know how we always trying to push for our community, bro, to keep us, moving forward and excelling with the next. So I appreciate you doing that. Let's take a step back though. Brick by Brick, I see it on your shirt, your merch. Brick by Brick Academy of Health and Wealth, correct?
Mm-hmm, correct.
What is it? What is your whole business?
Okay, so Brick by Brick Academy of Health and Wealth, it's a dual approach, kind of like a conglomerate, dual approach of financial education and services alongside with fitness education and services. And when people ask me how did I come up with the term or the word brick by brick, I like to go into my life, just knowing that each and everything that I have done over the past year since, 6 years old, starting my first lemonade stand, to starting selling and scrapping aluminum, copper, rubber band necklaces, candy and snacks, from 6th grade to 12th grade, adversity with, me losing a lot of people, through deaths and different things of adversity like that, transferring colleges from FAMU to FAU, football, NFL prospect, starting my businesses with Brick by Brick itself, Get Beefy, Built to Grind. All of those different phases of my life was all a part of me building brick by brick. So now taking that motivation and hustle and teaching how I can turn that into education of financial, literacy of things that we don't learn, a lot in our community.
Correct. That's real. So starting back from where you're 6 then, let's start from there. Where exactly are you from?
I'm actually from West Palm Beach. I was born in West Palm Beach, and I grew up like 6 minutes from West Palm, which is called Riviera Beach. So They all know each other. Yeah, so I grew up in Riviera.
Off Heron exit. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, Blue.
Yeah. But that's what's up, man. So you said that you started with your lemonade stand at 6. What made you get into that? Like, did you had influences that helped you get into that, or?
No, not even, man. I really, first and foremost, I want to always give thanks to God. And I like when people ask me about the entrepreneurial side of myself, it's kind of like second nature. I got like the best of both worlds. My mom's side is, very educational, morals, dignity, and standards and things. And my dad's side is very business type, hungry, ambitious. And they both all have similarities, but I was able to receive some of those similar traits, but put my own mind state to it and find ways to positively make money. So when you think about South Florida, we got sun all day. It's hot, humid. And growing up in that environment on 30th Street, as people call Riviera or the Dirty 30, it was a lot of criminal activity or drug dealing in that neighborhood. So when the ice cream truck comes, you ready to run to the ice cream truck. When you hear that noise, that sound, everybody trying to go get $2 or $3. And, I guess experiencing that for a couple of years, I'm always looking at the ice cream man like, dang, he can pull up 20 kids run from 5 different blocks. He making $20, $30, $40, $50, because when they got to get a change, they take it out. So in my head, I'm thinking to myself, what can I do to positively make money that won't lead me down the wrong direction in life? And then sometimes the drug guys, they will say, hey, here go $20, split this between you and your brothers. I would take my money instead of spending all $5 or $4 or $3 at the ice cream truck, I was saving it, putting it to the side. So I came to my mama one day and I was like, hey, Mom, it's hot outside. Well, can you help me start a lemonade stand? And she was like, yeah. So she told me she'll help me make it. We'll go buy some coolers. We'll go buy some ice, the cups. She was like giving me recommendations. Hey, you should do like 2-3 flavors. You should do lemonade with a lot of sugar, do pink lemonade, and I forgot the other one that we had, but we mixed it up a little bit. So my first day, I had like $86. Didn't even expect. We had the $2 cup. We had the $3 cup. And when you think about it, that's a lot of money for a 6-year-old. That most people, they gonna get their money. Hey, Mama, let me go buy some Jordans. Let me go buy some Nike, Adidas, and Under Armour. But my mind state was just a little different, a lot different. I wanted to go and reinvest. Hey, Mom, let's do this again tomorrow. I did it for the next 2 or 3 weeks. I had done raised over like $300, $400. So now, I guess that was like one of my first tastes, of making some solid money. And I will put something to the side, save it. I'll do it again. Fast forward another, let's say, few months, Soulja Boy came out, maybe a year or so. We had the rubber band necklaces popping. Yeah. So, me, I'm very creative. And I also love engineering, mechanical engineering. That's actually what I got accepted into FAMU for before I switched my. So I used to build a lot of hand model cars out of solar power and battery circuits. I used to take like scrap bikes and build cars. So the reason it gave me the creativity to make rubber band necklaces. Soulja Boy, I'm watching how they do it, get the rubber band balls, make them. I was selling those for like $15, $20 a pop.
That's crazy.
I was only like 7 years old at the time. Now I'm making $100-something just from 5 people. So, it was just like engraved. And then I think once I got to like 6th grade, that's when I really, really started flourishing. I was selling candy. I was selling the copper and aluminum and rubber band. I wanted to buy rubber band necklaces. So now I'm making the whole nameplates. I would take like the copper paper, the scrap paper or copy paper, and I would get pixie sticks and glue it. And then I would cut the rubber bands up, like all colorful rubber bands. I would make the nameplates. I would take your initials and wrap the rubber bands around. Like I was doing all kind of creative stuff, man.
That's
but it was really like a full business. And my, rest in peace to my former 6th grade teacher, Mr. Timothy Williams. One day I was in class. I took his robotics course too, his engineering class, right? We used to build the roller coasters of different sticks, all kind of stuff we did. But I always took my education serious.
Right.
So he came in the classroom one day and I stayed after school. And he said, Gerald, I think you should join the robotics team. When you get to 7th grade, I want you to take Mr. Trendell Adams' class, and rest in peace to him. Those 2 engineering teachers was my 2 favorite middle school teachers. And, unfortunately, they both passed away. But prior to taking Mr. Adams' class, I remember walking in his class and he said, Gerald, you know what a U.S. patent is? And I said, no. He said, I want you to go to Google. I want you to research what is a U.S. patent, and you tell me what it is and write your notes. I went in his class. I wrote the notes down. I learned that you can do a U.S. patent by yourself for free. You can cut them. I learned this in 6th grade. So I asked, I like to pick people's brains. So I'm asking him a lot of questions. How do I go about filing for one? Because now I had inventions that I had created from hand model cars that he was talking about. I could potentially, make some money from it. So what really struck my mind, after doing my research, he said, your inventions, I think you should sign up for this contest. He said, go to Google and type in engineering contest or robotics contest. Signed up. It was a contest for $10,000. Now, I'm in 6th grade. I could, really care less if I really win or not, because I know it's a lot of, people that's probably competition. But you'll never know unless you try. So I applied for the competition. I want to say give it about a week and a half. It was on a Wednesday, bro. I had received an email from Davis & Company. They pretty much offered a U.S. patent, but it wasn't guaranteed.
Mm-hmm.
So in my head, I didn't really understand what that meant at the time. So, you know, me keeping it real with you, you know, me being Black, African American, I was really nervous because in my head, I'm like, dang, what if I process this US patent and somebody steal my ideas
Right.
and I'm the proper royalties for it? See, like I was looking at this kind of stuff in royalties and things. So I did not pursue it. But a year later, taking Mr. Trendell Adams' class, I got on the robotics team. We probably built over, I don't even know, maybe like 7 to 8 robots. We used to go to the competitions. I'm still selling my candy and snacks in school, making money, you know, saving, putting money to the side or whatnot. A's and B's on my report card. And Mr. Adam, he hit me up and he was like, man, keep doing what you're doing. You know, around that time period, I actually got into football too. So, you know, outside of school, I was always, you know, grinding, training. You know, we play street football, toss them up, bust them up. And that hunger, that passion to be successful was all along the journey. So with me talking about this more in depth, all these phases of my life was a part of building brick by brick.
Right.
And fast forward to eighth grade year, I started figuring out where that I want to go to high school at. So that whole chunk of 7th and 8th grade, I was really like finding my identity. I done saved up over like over $15,000 just from selling candy and snacks.
Damn.
Like I was really,
You was
so,
grinding.
yeah. So literally like over $15,000-$20,000 that I had done stashed up. My mindset was always reinvest into myself, save, but also having a goal to one day put my family on, to own a business or own multiple businesses. And then another goal that I could provide opportunities for jobs. I mean, I can provide job opportunities for other people and potentially work towards building up 10 millionaires. That was one of my childhood goals, which is I'm still in the works of right now. Get to high school. No, 8th grade, I was going to the Boys and Girls Club. Me and my guy, Corey Smith.
I know, of course, man.
Yeah, he taught me the game on just being consistent. We used to work out. He'll invite me to the weight room at Dwyer. You know, I'm like, I don't even know, 13 years old maybe. I'm actually 13 years old. Every single day, rain, hot, whatever you want to call it, I was there at practice every day, taking the city bus. People didn't even know. I used to wake up at 4:45 every morning just to get ready for school. I used to have to walk to the bus stop with my duffel bag, about 50, 60 pounds. Then I got my school backpack with like 8, 6, 7 books in it, sweating before I get to the bus stop.
That's wild.
So it was a daily grind, you know, come home, I'm got to manage my grades, you know. So I was doing so many things behind the scenes that people didn't even know about who I was besides social media at the time.
Right.
So
And
Dwyer, that summer, right before school was about to start, I had got notified that Dwyer did not process my paperwork. They was trying to send me to Forest Hill in Palm Beach Lakes. So I told my mama, listen, I ain't going to those schools. But it was just that chemistry with football and the academic or receiving. My mom, you know, she actually went to school with Coach Jack Daniels. Shout out to him, and my old running back coach, Reggie Stanley. Man, when I tell you it was nothing but like a family environment, I got there. I want to say almost 30 to 40% of my old middle school friends came to my high school at Dwyer with me, right? First 3 days of school. Hey, Gerald, where the candy at, bro? I'm like, nah, bro, I ain't got none of that. I'm in high school and I ain't trying to get in trouble.
Man.
It was 2 weeks. But y'all chill out, bro. Chill out. Y'all can get me in trouble. So I waited, came back the next 2 weeks. I was like, okay, I'm going to just start with like a small Ziploc bag. I put like 25, 30 pieces of candy in it because I can put it in my backpack, right?
Right.
Man, the snack gone as soon as I walk on campus. It's lunchtime. It's second, third, fourth, fifth period. Hey, Jill, no candy? Nah, bro, I ain't got nothing. So I said, all right, I got to figure out a way I could be a little sneaky. Like, I got to bring my candy back. Now, I might have to go make some more money. So I went to Sam's Club. No. You know, every entrepreneur, trial and error. Went to Sam's Club, bro. And I'm like, hey, I'm ready to go, you know, buy some snacks or whatever. The lady said, oh, you had your ID? I was like, yeah, I go put out my driver license. So, I ain't know you have to have a membership card.
Yeah.
So I hit 5, 10 people in my contacts. Thanks to them. I want to give a huge shout out to them. They right. because I needed that card every week, every 3 or 4 days.
Yeah.
But man, when I tell you, I would go to a Sam's Club every week and spend over $500 to $600, sometimes $400 at a time, and everything be gone by Wednesday or Thursday. Everything.
Hustling,
bro. And I was still saving, playing football. So when I got to my team, after my freshman year of football, I got moved up to varsity. So I got a chance to play with some, big name guys. Yeah, Jacoby Brissett, Keith Bowers, Tommy Lee Lewis, some really good dudes, man. But it was just like that burning desire to continue working towards success. So what I did was I saved up some more money. I bought my own cleats. One of my close mentors I met through Urban Youth Impact, they actually helped me buy another pair of cleats. And she used to actually help me, she used to help invest by buying some snacks from me. So I didn't really want money from people. I would say, okay, I need some support. Would you consider to buy some candy for me? Because if you buy the candy, I got to sell it if I want the money.
All right.
So this was like another form of discipline for me personally. And I think that kind of helped me as well on learning how to talk, how to communicate, having more interpersonal skills, getting a chance one day sit around big business people and articulate myself pretty well. Get the 11th, 12th grade. I'm trying to figure out, what's my next steps for college. Man, a big gap of what I missed and everything that I just said. In 2004, I had lost my little brother's father. Well, we lost my little brother's father. He had got, murdered in front of our house at the time. And, during that time period in our environment, I probably had lost over maybe 16, probably 18 more people. So it was, a lot of different things outside of school, business, and life, that I was dealing with or we was dealing with. And we moved down to Tamarind community in West Palm after my little brother dad got killed. So that's why I ended up mentioning that, we moved to Tamarind. So growing up around that time, a lot of gangs, gangsters and thugs, just too much violence, a lot of stuff going on, man. It was really hard to stay focused because this can happen at any moment. That can happen at any moment. And I wanted to say that it was nothing but God to keep my focus, to know that I don't want to become a part of that type of lifestyle. When I got to FAMU, that was one of my first experiences on being away from home, getting out the city. I hadn't did a little traveling before, but this was my first time that I can say, man, you know what? I'm away from it. But the issue was knowing that I got family back there. It's my family, I know that I want to make sure my mom is good. So I had a lot of burdens that was still kind of like placed on me. So even though I came to FAMU at 17, I worked my way up, started running back. I'm still learning the system. I'm still learning how to cope with being away from home, long distance relationship at the time. And it's a lot of things us as athletes, we have to go through it, even just college students in general. But I found a way to maneuver. And, through prayers and faith, I was able to get through it and, graduated when I transferred from FAMU to FAU 2016. So, long story, but it was all a part of the journey of building brick by brick, until where I'm at right now.
That's real. So I'm going to jump back to a couple of things. First, it's just a quick question. When you said, speaking back to the lemonade stand, when you first told your mom about it, looking back at it now, do you feel that it was a blessing to have, a parent to be like, yeah, I'm going to invest in you. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to go to the store, go get the cooler and whatnot. By looking at it now, like, do you appreciate it more than you think you did then? Or do you think that you appreciate it back then as much as you appreciate it now? Because, so I don't mean to cut you off, because sometimes, in our community not saying that our parents don't support us, but they can't support us, if that makes sense, in a certain time and era. So how do you feel about that? My fault.
Right. No, you good. I actually highly appreciate my mom because as a single mother, I got respect for all women. And I also got more respect for single parents, man or woman, because there's a lot of things that single parent have to do. They have to play both sides.
Right.
It's certain things that a woman can't teach a man. we gotta either learn on our own, or
Or
we gotta go.
somebody gonna
It
teach
can
you.
be a good thing or a bad thing, and it's all about how we look at it from a perspective, right?
Right.
For her to be supportive, one thing I do know is that my brothers and I, we never had to worry about having an empty refrigerator.
Right.
That's when we were blessed. So we may not have been the richest or the wealthiest, but we know how to get through and survive despite our environment. So growing up in a very solid home, despite our circumstances, having her support and her motivation to be a greater person and a greater mother was also motivation for me, while she taking care of 4 boys and got a daughter up in New York. So thinking and looking back of parents that can't support their kids as much as they want, if that kid have the proper guidance or someone that could be a mentor, big brother, big sister, or somebody that they can positively look up to for the most part, I think that will at least inspire them to want to find a way. And the way that I am, even if my mother could not really financially support me as if I wanted to, I would have found a way. I would
Right.
make a way. That's what they're selling the candy or the scrap and lemonade. I mean, aluminum cans came in that, because a guy named John Calhoun, he used to scrap a lot of cans in aluminum. I mean, he used to scrap a lot of aluminum cans and copper. So I used to sit back, and because I was raised around a lot of older individuals, like in their 50s and 60s and 70s at the time, I used to just sit back and watch. Okay, these old folks sit around, drink beer, listen to music, got their boom box. But what do they do with their cans when they done? They throw them on the ground. When people have parties and cookouts, family reunions, they buy soda cans. You know, back then the check sodas was
them check sodas.
they gonna throw them on the ground. So I'm trying to see, okay, if the dope boy out there making money, what can I do to make positive money? So I would watch Calhoun all the time. He would take the cans, he'll wait 3 and 4 days later, he'll stack them and put them in black bags, garbage bag. So I watched him for like 5 or 6 months. I put up a post on my Facebook and Instagram a couple hours ago. I said, sometimes you got to sit back, you got to observe, you got to execute, and you got to dominate.
Correct.
So I was that doing. I was the living proof of that. I was sitting back. I'm a little kid. I'm watching. I'm observing. Kids watch everything.
Everything.
Hear everything. They may not say much, but we look, we watch, we learn, and sometimes we do. So with that being said, it was a phenomenal experience for my mom to be in support, but we was able to make it happen collectively.
Correct. Okay, so jumping from that, I'm gonna ask you this in a different type of perspective. In a sense, I consider it networking as well, because even though you may not talk to Mr. Calhoun or whoever it was, but you watched. In a sense, to me, that's networking, because you are learning how to take something from that person or using something from that individual and applying the pressure to yourself and to whatever else you're doing. So what is the importance of networking and exemplifying leadership when it comes into your work and your business?
Yeah, great question. That's a great question. I think one of the biggest parts is having an open mind. There's a lot of leaders that may have a type of ego because they only want to do it their way.
Right.
What learn if we're open to listen, take notes, and then process everything that's going on and make sure that anyone in our environment, such as a team, we all could work together and efficiently. Mm-hmm. So I think from that experience, such as myself networking from Mr. Calhoun, watching him as one person stack the cans. Well, first of all, they drink, then cans. Then the next process, take it to the scrap yard. Then you get the money. Okay, what are you going to do with your money? I'm either going to reinvest in more beer, I'm going to invest into cigarettes, or I'm going to invest into something that's not going to benefit me. So I use other people's life experiences to help me put into perspective what I want and what I don't want. So if they're taking those type of actions, I'm going to network in my own way. I'm gonna get cans, I'm gonna scrap them, I'm gonna make money, I'm gonna save, I'm gonna reinvest, and then I'm gonna invest into something else at the same time. And then now I can effectively share my experience with others and potentially create more business people or lead.
So in a sense, you were a young kid with multiple streams of income and you realize it, but financial literacy wise, did you realize what you were doing back then?
No, not at all. I had an idea. I had an idea because my dad, he was a business person as well. So even though he didn't necessarily raise me at that time period, I can always respect my mom because she was very straightforward with my brothers and I. Like, you have most parents, they kind of like certain things, oh, this is that, or oh, this is, like my mom, she always made sure we was aware of our environment. She always,
Right.
she taught us, at an early age, make sure you protect yourself if y'all guys ever have sex. It's just a lot of things that we need as men, and a lot of us as men don't know how to express ourselves. So I think having a mother like that, that's why it's a lot of props to her. It helped me kind of have my mind right.
Right. Okay. So with that teachings that you have of the knowledge and the ability to share your story with others and teach people as well, is that a portion of what you teach in some of your classes that you give, or are all of your classes right now just preparing to give financial education and things of that nature?
No, it's actually a portion because I like to look at everything from a real life perspective. Now, on a financial, the financial segment piece, right? I've been able to put myself around like-minded people, or at least people that could educate me on things that I don't know. Many times in life, we don't take a step forward because we fear that we may not understand, or we fear that we may fail. So those individuals that taught me a lot of things, or either I wanted to try something out and they said, "Hey, Gerald, consider this, consider that." I was open-minded to say, "Okay, I'll consider it. Tell me more about it. Let me go take my notes." So those key components allowed me to build a financial team that now we are able to work together and serve me community, such as building tax-free income, debt management, credit restoration, and other things like that.
That's real. That's real. You also touched on something that I would like to discuss as well within that. Some of your posts and some of the information that you've already placed out on some of your platforms. You said something about mental rejuvenation. Is mental rejuvenation something that you feel that it should be pushed a lot harder in our community?
It should be. I'm gonna tell you why. Every day, we probably make hundreds of thousands of decisions without us really knowing. Should I turn left? Should I turn right? Should I go through the back door? Should I go through the front door? Should I check my phone? Nah, I'll wait till later. Should I eat this? Should I eat that? We have so many thoughts that go through our mind that we don't realize that our brain is always spinning. And including a person like myself, I have a history of being extremely busy, but I've also been able to experience what it feels like to take time for myself, like going to get a massage, sitting back and listening to some good music, going back and meditating, doing yoga,
Right.
phone off and praying, you know. So because I have that experience and also going through a lot of stressful situations, I know that mental rejuvenation is much needed, because when you don't hit that reset button, you got high risk of high blood pressure, stress, potential strokes, whatever that it could be. So it's a huge importance to take that time for yourself from time to time.
So with saying that, I appreciate actually hearing that, because sometimes I what doing my podcast, I feel like, man, am I doing it this way? Am I not doing it this way? But at the end of the day, you know, I should take time to realize, hey, is this what I actually want to do? Is this how I'm doing it the way that I feel like is best? And I appreciate hearing that and changing my perspective. You may have been saying it on many other aspects, but it's amazing how you could just touch, you know, some part of somebody's brain and just, you feel me, they use it however they use it to the best
Yeah.
of their ability. And that's a beautiful thing that you're doing that I love to glamorize. I want to, you know, commend you on, just give you praise on that, man. Like you're really doing that, and I appreciate that. So I'm gonna jump around to the next thing. What is your take on investments and your ideal perception on a proper investment?
That's a phenomenal question. For a person that wants to grow and invest their money, I want to say first and foremost, a person should learn the word compound interest. When you think about that word, and I'll ask you, have you heard the word compound interest before? You probably say yes. I may ask you, how does it work? How does the rule of 72 work? You may say yes, you may say no. Then I may go back into school. Okay, school probably told us, but why did we never go in depth about it? It was something about that key word that they just touched on. Fast forward to us as adults, making an investment, and it don't have to be financial. It can be an investment in yourself. Fasting, praying, redirecting your energy from negative energy, redirecting your finances, something to grow for you, compound interest. You know, there are so many ways that you can use to form investment, financial literacy wise. So as I was saying about investment, I think that when a person decides to make an investment, whether if it's a version of themselves or find different ways they can financially invest into something, first off, you must have a plan. Not having a plan, like planning to fail. So now you want to write down 3 to 5 goals. You know, what do you want to invest in? What do you like? What is something that you may find a new passion in? You know, what kind of resources and support that you may need or can utilize from any of your contacts to help you grow? How can you build a team within this investment? If you make this investment, how will your money grow compound interest for you over X amount of time? That's going to benefit you and your family potentially, or your friends, or whoever that is a part of that decision making. So that's my first part of thinking about how important investing is. And what was your second part that you asked me?
The second portion of that question was the proper investments. Yes, that was what you said, but your ideal perception. Just what did you feel that is best, you know, when making that investment? You pretty much touched it though.
Okay.
Uh, let's go back to FAMU football, as well as when you started playing football. What pushed you to play football? What helped you transition into walking on or getting a scholarship at FAM and then transition into FAU?
Yeah, so let's talk about brick by brick. This is a big part of my life. When graduating high school and going to FAMU, that was a huge brick of determination. When I graduated Dwyer, I graduated with a 4.0 GPA.
Yes, sir.
When I realized that we had over 36 seniors, that's one of the largest graduating classes. I knew that we had top prospects on the team that scouts was more focused on than myself. Now, coaches, family, friends, they knew I worked really hard. They knew I'm committed to the grind. They knew I had a skill set. I could have probably used a little more coaching techniques for certain things, more specifically running back at the time period, because I did play more special teams. I was a starting fullback, and I was transitioning my position into a running back. So I didn't have the full capabilities as, you know, that was yet produced. So my guidance counselor, Miss Tiffany Wilkes, I came to her office one day and she said, "Hey, Gerald, have you applied for any Florida schools?" And I said, "No, not yet." I took time. Within a 2-month time span, I applied to over 96 colleges by myself. I went and registered myself with money that I saved from selling candy, and I went to about 6 to maybe 9, I think maybe 8 football camps. I went to the underclassmen 100. I got invited to the Nike Spark Combine. I went to UTSA, University of Texas in San Antonio camp in the Alamo Dome. Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech was actually my first preferred walk-on deal. I had no clue what a preferred walk-on was.
Right.
All I know, man, I got offered. I'm thinking everything's sweet.
Yeah.
And then I went back to my mentor and I got back to Florida. And she said, oh, Gerald, a preferred walk-on means you still got to pay out of pocket.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm from the hood. Like, I ain't got no kind of money like that. You know, I'm something, but 4 years. So it increased my hustle. It increased my grind to really find a way to set myself up for success. I always want to say thanks to God, because through prayer, it was a great way to stay level-headed. Right. Because you don't get those offers that you expect, that you may deserve. God have different plans and ways for you. With that being said, my other guidance counselor, she was like, you know, me and her very close. Miss Panier, she actually said, Gerald, you should go online and apply for scholarships because you have the academics. And Miss Masterson, those 3 guidance counselors who were like my best friends. When I tell you, I went and applied for almost 24